Hey guys, Mr. Mackey's Maths here. Now yesterday I was showing you how to construct angles, especially the angles that I showed you in Tuesday's video. Now, before we start learning the different angle rules, which is in today's, I set you a challenge, which was to construct an angle worth 225 degrees. That would be a bit challenging, especially with a 180 degree protractor, but it's not impossible. Now, let's see how I did it. Now for this, we're still going to be using our classic pencil, ruler, bit of paper and our protractor. So let's do it. Firstly, let's draw a line, draw a little baseline. Now, the first thing we know is that this line is going to be worth 180 degrees. Okay, so we know that this is 180. But the angle we're drawing is 225. So how much more do we need to add on? Well, that is 45 degrees. So what I'm doing is I'm now going to put my protractor upside down. And I'm going to draw a 45 degree angle that would go from here. So let's do this. So we get our protractor. We label, well, there's a 45 on the bottom half here and a 45 on the top half here. Now what's going to happen is our angle is going to start from here and move around from this point. If it ended here, that would mean that the angle that I've just drawn is 315 degrees, too far. Now 45 degrees sounds best from this part because it's still quite close to the straight line and it's not really a full circle. So let's draw it. Now, that is the 180 and then that's the extra 45 we just created. That is how you draw an angle worth 225 degrees with a protractor. So, now we know how to construct angles, and we know the 6 different types of angles, let's now go back upstairs to the whiteboard, and I'm going to show you some different angle rules that I've discovered. Let's go. Good to be back. Now, today, as I said, we're going to be covering angle rules. Now, there are 4 important angle rules you need to know. And once you understand each of these rules, you'll be able to get through any problem. Now the first 2 we've actually done before. Now here's the first one. We have a straight line, and if we have an angle here, and we label them A, B and C, here's the rule. No matter how much they are, no matter what they are, A plus B plus C all have to add up to 180 degrees because it's a straight line. So A could be 30, B could be 40 and C could be 110. As long as they're that, it doesn't matter if whichever one's which, they have to be 180 degrees. So that's the first rule. Angles on a straight line add up to 180. Now this angle rule can help us solve a problem like this. We have a straight line and we want to find this missing angle. Now what could we use to help us? Well, our angle rule. Angles in a straight line add up to 180. So we have 50 degrees, we have a missing angle, and we have 60 degrees. Now that will all add up to 180. So let's tidy this up a little bit. 50 at 60 will get us 110 degrees. So 110 plus our missing angle will get 180. So how do we find our missing angle? Well, we find what we need to add to 110 to get 180. And that will be 70 degrees. And that's how we find our missing angle. Some questions they will say find the missing angle and give a reason. The reason you'd give for questions like this are angles in a straight line add up to 180. Now this is the other one you've seen. Now this is a full circle, and the rule for this is we have A, we have B, we have C. No matter how big they are, no matter what they are, A plus B plus C all have to add up to 360 degrees. So A could be 210, B could be 40, C would be 110. because they all add up to 360 degrees. Now we can use this information to help solve this problem. We have a full circle, we have three angles, what is the final one? Well, we have 130, 70, and remember, what type of angle is it if it's a square? It's a right angle, and a right angle is 90 degrees. So, we know that 90 plus 130 plus 70 plus our missing angle, which is there, will equal 360 degrees. So let's tidy that up. What's 90, add 130, 220, add 70, that's 290 degrees plus our missing angle will equal 360 degrees. What do we add to 290 to get 360? That will be our missing angle, which in this case is 70 degrees. And that is how we use this angle rule to solve that problem. Again, with the previous one, they might ask you to put a reason. The reason you use in this is angles in a full circle add up to 360 degrees. And now time to do a rule you've actually not seen before. Now, this is not the X-Men logo. These are two lines crossing into each other, and we have angles that are opposite each other. Let's say this is angle A and this is angle B. Now, here's the rule. No matter what these angles are, angle A here will be the same as angle A here. So those two will be bang on the same. And this angle here will be the same as that angle. So they'll both be B. Now the rule is opposite angles will always be the same. No matter what they are. This could be 140, this could be 2, this could be 1. If they're opposites, they will always be the same. And we can use this rule to help us with problems like this. I have two lines that have crossed into each other, and I have this angle which is 110 degrees. I want to find not only this angle, but this angle as well. Now, this angle we can find easily because they're opposites. Now, this angle we could also find because opposites are equal, but we don't know what that angle is. But why don't we use a rule we have used before? That is a straight line. And what do straight lines add up to? 180. So there may be some questions where you'll have to use more than one rule to figure it out. So if that's plus 110 equals 180, what do we need to add to 110 to make 180? 70 degrees. And because that's 70, the opposite will also be 70. So the two missing angles are 110 degrees and 70 degrees. And the reason you'd put is two reasons. Firstly, angles in a straight line add up to 180. And secondly, opposite angles are equal. And that's rule number 3. Now, these two lines here are known as parallel lines. Does anyone know what parallel lines mean? Well, they are two lines that no matter how far they can go till the end of time, they will never touch. Never. Now, this is a line that's gone through both those parallel lines. And because of that, we've now created some angles. Now, here are 2-in-1 angle rules we can pick up from just this image. The first one is if we have angle A here, no matter what happens, no matter how big angle A is here, this angle will also be the same. Now, this is known as corresponding angles. So angles like this are known as corresponding. They will always be equal. But another rule we can pick up from this is that if this angle is here and we have an angle here, we're going to name this B. If this angle is B, this angle here will also be B. Those are known as alternate angles. So corresponding angles will always be equal. Alternate angles will always be equal. And do you notice that A and B, when put together, they're on a straight line and they make 180 degrees? These two angles will make 180 degrees. So, corresponding are equal. Alternate are equal. And if you added together both of these, which are known as co-interior, that will get 180 degrees. So 3 whole angle rules in one simple image. Now, the one thing I forgot to say about rule number 4 is that these rules can only apply if we have 2 lines that are parallel, like this one. How do we know if these lines are parallel? Well, what they will show you in the questions, if they don't say, is they'll show you these arrows here. And those arrows simply tell you that they're parallel. That's it. They're a set of parallel lines. Now, here is a question. I have one angle, 140 degrees, and I want to find, with reasons, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now, this may look complicated because we've only got one angle, but I can bet you that we can do this all with reasons. So let's find A first. Now, A, what type of line is this? This is a straight line. And so 140 add A will get 180 degrees. What do we do then to get 180? We have to add 140 and 40 together to get 180. So we know that A is 40 degrees. And our reason? Well, I'm just going to simply write number 1 because rule number 1 was that angles in a straight line make 180. It just saves a bit of time. So now let's find angle B. Well, they are opposite, and opposite angles are the same. So this one would be 140 degrees because of rule number 3. Now, angle C. There's 2 ways we can do this. We could do angles in a straight line, or if we found A, we could do opposites are equal as well. Let's do the opposites one. So if A is 40, C is an opposite, so C will also be 40 because of rule number 3. 3 down, 4 to go. So now let's find angle D. 2 ways we can do this. We could either do the co-interior rule, where we add C and D together, and that will get 180. But also, this angle and D are corresponding. So, 140 is here, D is a corresponding, so D is also 140 degrees. And the reason is, reason number 4, corresponding angles are equal. So what will E be? Well, what we do is we have angles in a straight line, so what do we add to 140 to get to 180? We do 40 again. And what's the reason? Reason number 1. Angles in a straight line make 180. So now let's do angle F. So we could do angles in a straight line, but also F and D are opposites. We know what D is, 140, so F will also be 140 degrees because of reason number 3. Opposite angles are equal. And that's what we could also do for G, because E and G are opposites. E is 40, so G must be 40 because of reason number 3. For just one angle, we managed to figure out 7 different ones. Now, let's see how you do when we do this to a challenge. So here is your challenge for today. All I want you to do is find A, B, and C. All that I've given you is one angle, which is 130 degrees. Now, You can do this because I managed to find 7 angles in the previous problem. Now, what have I given to help you? What do these arrows mean? What are the 4 rules that I taught you? How do these lines help us with rule number 4? Now, good luck with these. I know it's a challenging topic, but once you get through these hurdles, it will be much easier. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, good luck, and let's keep our children learning. Take care.